Hey, vacationers, it's Eddie from Explorateria, and welcome back to episode 13 of the Flambé. On this week's episode of our cruise and theme park news show, we're going to be talking about a new inside look to Disney Cruise Line's new private destination, a cruise where tan lines are going to be the least of your worries, some big news from Universal, and a Disneyland discount. All that and more today on Explorateria. And as always, first up, we have cruise news. Carnival's implementing a new meet and greet for guests between the age of 18 and 20. So that's too old for the kids club and too young for the club. This will allow guests that aren't old enough to drink the opportunity to hang out with each other since they can't do it at bars. So a lot of people in that age range were really frustrated that they didn't have somewhere that they could kind of hang out with people their own age, right? The kids have the kids club, and adults were at the bar, right? 21 and older, we're at the bar. That 18 to 20 group didn't really have anything that was their own. So Carnival listened to them and their requests, and they decided to start this new meet and greet. So now if you're on that next Carnival cruise, and there's a little more motion in Carnival's ocean, I think we'll know why. Guests cruising into Ensenada on the Carnival Sunshine got an interesting note in their cabins warning them to stay away from any restaurants and apparently other places down there that are offering guests the opportunity to interact with and pet tiger cubs. The cruise line cited health, safety, and environmental reasons to stay away. But I mean, come on, all you cool cats and kittens. We were all locked down in 2020 at the same time, right? And I know damn well that we all watched Tiger King. Did we learn nothing? Stay away from the damn tiger cubs, okay? Disney Cruise Line gave us some new info and some new inside looks on their brand new private destination, Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. So first off, we got to look at all of the new characters' outfits that they're going to be wearing. They were designed by some famous fashion person. I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not into fashion, so I don't know their names, but apparently it's a pretty big name. But looking at the photos of the other concepts of the outfits, I think that they're going to make for some pretty cool photos. I don't know why Dale's rocking the Phoenix Suns look, but I'll take it. We also got to look at the new construction update. So in the construction update, you can see here there's True Barbecue and True 2 Barbecue are going to be the restaurants that are at the destination. We're going to be able to go get some barbecue. They also put out a menu, so there's going to be they're going to have ribs, fish, burgers, chicken, jerk chicken, and whatnot. And then they also gave us some concept art look at some of the activities that are going to be available there. The concept of the island is going to be a lot to do with the Junkanoo Festival that goes on down there. So you'll notice even the outfits reflect that. But so one of the activities they're going to have is what they call a Junkanoo Rush Out. So it's going to be like a big band that's going to be playing music kind of in a parade that's going to go all the way down to a pavilion. And when they get to the pavilion, they're going to meet up with Mickey and the gang, and they're going to have a big old dance party. So that's one of the things we got as you can see here, this is one of the things that we got a concept art look at. And they also showed us this one of the Play Pavilion. So this is an area where kids can get together and play. There's going to be dancing and all kinds of different activities. One of the other activities that I thought was kind of cool that they announced is they're going to be allowing kids and teens to build these sandcastles, and they're going to show them how to build sandcastles, and they're going to be able to take a picture with them and then knock them all down. They can knock them all down and put the beach back to how they found it. All in all, it looks like a really awesome destination, and I can't wait to check it out. Princess Cruises' Sapphire Princess had a Norovirus outbreak recently on a 32-day voyage. So Norovirus, as you know, probably is a pretty highly contagious thing that happens where it can cause diarrhea, stomach pain, vomiting, and just all in all a bad time, right? So this is like one of my worst fears, like to be stuck on a cruise ship where everybody is just throwing up and just there's diarrhea everywhere, right? It's horrible. And so one thing and the main thing that causes you to get sick is not washing your hands, right? And people go to the buffet and they don't wash their hands first. That's one thing I really, really like about Royal Caribbean. The whole washy-washy movement, right? The dancing and the washy-washy. It's corny, but people wash their hands. I love how they really like enforce washing your hands on those ships. We just got off Carnival Mardi Gras. There were hand washing stations on the way into the buffet. I seen not one person. Not one person stopped to wash their hands there. I did. Okay, most of the time, right? But I see not one person that went to the buffet stop and wash their hands. It was horrible, right? Like, that's how these outbreaks happen. So next time you're on a cruise, doesn't matter which line you're at, when you walk into the buffet, you see those sinks, I want you to think in your head, I want you to hear that voice sing, washy, 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 washy. And please, for the love of God, wash your hands. Is seeing glaciers a big part of why you would or have booked an Alaskan cruise? If so, you may want to check out Holland America. They just started a Glacier Guarantee, which is guaranteeing you to see glaciers on your Alaskan cruise. And if you don't see glaciers on your cruise, Holland America is going to give you a 15% refund in the form of a future cruise credit. So you'll be able to use it on maybe another cruise to Alaska in the hopes of seeing those glaciers you wanted to see. I think this is really cool. We just booked our first cruise to Alaska coming up later this year, and glaciers is a really big part of why I wanted to go to Alaska. I want to see them. They look amazing, right? I want to take photos with them next to them and just have that experience. And so I think it's a really great marketing plan for them to do this Glacier Guarantee. I do wonder though. Are they losing business? Like, did they come up with this guarantee because people aren't going on Holland America as much as they should, as they used to, or are they just trying to, or is this just a great marketing thing that they're trying to steal business from all these other cruise lines? It's interesting that so many cruise lines are actually going to Alaska now. More and more cruise lines are coming out of Seattle and Vancouver and going up to Alaska. Matter of fact, in 2026, it was just announced that Virgin Voyages is going to be moving the Brilliant Lady to Seattle to go up and to do Alaska cruises. It's the first Virgin ship to go over there, which I think is pretty cool, and I might like to check that out. I've never been on a Virgin ship before. But yeah, if glaciers are important to you, you might want to check out Holland America for your Alaska trip. About a week ago, Radiance of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's Radiance of the Seas, had a repositioning cruise that went up along the west coast to Vancouver. Now, during that cruise, they had engine problems and had to skip most of the ports on the way there. Once they were in Vancouver, they were supposed to have another cruise, of course, and guests get on for the next cruise. But they had to do work on the engine to fix the engines. So what they decided to do was to let those guests onto the ship for the next cruise and stay in the port for what they thought would be 2 days to fix the engine, and then they would continue on leaving the port and go on to their cruise and come back, right? Well, that didn't happen. It took them longer than they thought to fix the ship, which meant that they had to cancel the cruise. So after these guests had already been on the cruise for about a day and a half, they were informed on that night, the second night, they were informed that they didn't have to go home, but they got to get out of here, right? So guests were actually, compensation-wise, it wasn't too bad, right? Guests were given a refund, and then they were given 100% of that cruise in future cruise credit. Not only that, but that second night before they got off, that second day, it was open bar. It was all you can drink, right? So they got to be on the cruise ship for a day, free food, right? You're on a cruise ship. They got the next day all you could drink, and then they got paid for it, right? They got a future cruise credit to come back and do another cruise, which, in my opinion, that's not that bad. I wouldn't be, I know I would have been bummed about going to Alaska, but I would have been happy with what I was given in return for that cancellation. But I guess I'm a glass half full kind of guy. Well, at least right now I am. Ask me again in a couple months, I'll probably be pissed at that same situation. Probably pissed me off. I used to think there was nothing more freeing than being on the open seas, right? Just being out there in the waves, just you on the ship. Nothing more freeing, right? Well, that's what I thought until I heard of the big new boat. For 11 days next February, guests on board the Norwegian Pearl can strip down and let it all hang out on a nude cruise. It's going to be 11 days to Bahamas, Puerto Rico, St. Martin, and some other stops where it's a nudist cruise. I mean, of course, they're going to have to put clothes on when they stop at the certain ports and get off the ship. But once the ship hits the open water, sun's out, buns, and everything else out, I guess. It's really interesting, right? I mean, okay, so I don't have nothing against nudists, but I really hope that after this particular cruise, they sanitize all the chairs at the bars like really good. Because the last thing I'd want as the next guest is to come in, go to a bar stool, and just a small brown line being down the middle of it. I don't know. But what do you think? Would you do a nude cruise? Is this something that you guys are into? Let me know in the comment. And next up, we've got theme park news. Universal's given us some big news this week. They've announced a new parade, a new light show at the Harry Potter's castle, and then we finally got an opening date for DreamWorks Land. The new parade, called Mega Movie Parade, is going to feature movie hits like E.T., Jurassic World, Back to the Future, Jaws, and it's also going to have some Illumination films like Trolls and Minions and Sing, and there's going to be all the floats from those different types of movies. But the coolest thing, I told you guys before, I'm a big movie buff. The coolest thing is there's going to be a 13-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for the Ghostbusters float. That's right. That's got me really hyped. I think it's going to be so cool. Call me the Keymaster because I'll definitely be there for that. And that parade is going to be starting on July 3rd. They also let us know that the opening date for DreamWorks Land is going to be July 14th of this year. So if you didn't watch my previous episode, that's going to be a brand new land at Universal Studios Florida that's going to have in it a Shrek area, a Trolls area, and a Kung Fu Panda area. There's also going to be, of course, some inspired restaurants with snacks that are inspired by those films and other DreamWorks films as well. So if you're a DreamWorks fan, you might want to check it out. I know my daughter is hyped for that. She's really into Shrek right now, and I told her that next time we go to Universal, she's going to be able to meet him and hang out with him, and she's super hyped. Universal also released new information about Epic Universe. We got a look inside of the concepts for Super Nintendo World. So there's going to be Super Mario Land, which is going to have the same Mario Kart rides that are in some of the other Super Mario Lands, like in Japan. It's going to be pretty much the same one as there is in Japan. So there's going to be the Mario Kart ride, and then there's going to be the Yoshi ride, and then they're also going to have Donkey Kong Country. So in Donkey Kong Country, that's where the Donkey Kong mine cart roller coaster is going to be, and it's going to be all decked up just like the Donkey Kong games. And of course, they're going to have inside the Super Mario World, they're going to have power bands, and then they're going to have themed merch and restaurants as well. So it's going to be cool. I'm really excited for that Minecart Madness, the Donkey Kong ride. It's going to be a one of a kind attraction. Like, they designed that roller coaster from scratch. It's an in-house design, first of its kind. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to look. It's supposed to look exactly like you're sitting in the minecart, and it's going out of control. So I can't wait to check that out. and Epic Universe is slated to open next year, 2025. In other Universal news, the Universal Studios Hollywood has started the celebration for the 60th anniversary of the Tram Tour. So it's all park wide, and you're going to be able to get specialized merch and snacks. And then the coolest thing is that they've updated the Tram Tour, so for the first time, guests are going to be able to actually exit the tram and take photo ops. So there's like Doc Brown, Back to the Future one. There's the Bates Motel. We always go by the Bates Motel, and they added that thing where he's chasing you, where you're going to be able to get off, and there's going to be actual photo op there as well. And that's going to be running all the way through August 11th. So if you have a chance, go out there and check it out. Just hope, your tram doesn't crash or anything like last week. So Disneyland got Pixar Fest, right? And Disney World got Smellephants on Parade. That's right. Smellephants on Parade. There are a bunch of elephant statues that are around the park in the Storybook Circus area, Magic Kingdom, and at the base of these statues are scent diffusers, so they smell like stuff, right? And so the idea is that guests are going to be able to get maps that have the location of where there are these scents, but it's not going to tell them which statues are there or anything like that. It's a whole scavenger hunt thing. They're gonna have stickers. They're gonna find, okay, this statue was here, it smelled like this, here's the sticker, this is the statue that was there, or whatever. Lots of fun. I mean, it's cool, I guess. I'm not against stuff smelling good, okay? I like to be surrounded by delicious fragrances just as much as anybody else, right? But am I gonna want to do that when there's a 90-minute wait for Tron that I'm gonna have to wait? I think I'll take a whiff of the elephant as I pass by on my way to the queue. But to each their own, I guess. Like I always say, I mean, if you want to spend your day at the park sniffing stuff, be my guest. And finally, Disneyland has a deal going on. Well, soon to be going on. May 29th, guests are going to be able to purchase tickets at a discounted rate, with children tickets going for $50 per day and adult tickets going for $83. This is valid for 3-day, one-park tickets during the week between Monday and Thursday for visits from June 10th through September 26th. So if you're planning on going during those times, I'd hold off on buying your tickets until after this deal starts. Now, if you're planning on staying at the hotel, there's going to be a 25% discount if you stay a minimum of 4 days during that time period. But if you're going to stay between Sunday and Thursday, there's an automatic 20% discount with no need for a minimum amount of days stay. So, like I said, this is a pretty good deal for Disneyland. So if you're planning on going, I'd hold off on purchasing until these deals start. And that does it for this week's episode. I mean, we had some good stuff this week. There's a lot going on at Universal, right? A lot going on. I'm really excited about that. Like I said, Epic Universe, really hyped about that. And then Disney's brand new private destination. I'm really psyched about that too. I haven't been to a Disney destination yet, but that one's definitely on my list. So like always, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that like button below. And if you're not subscribed already, that subscribe button's right over there too and can use some love. And as I always say, thanks for watching and see you again next week.